Nurse-family partnership is one of the home visiting programs that exists in Oregon. There's a great portfolio of different types of programs, and that's to the strength of our work in the state, because just as there's a variety of families and a variety of needs that exist out there, we have a variety of programs and different structures. And so I can share about how our nurse-family partnership work plugs into the gamut or the continuum of home visiting work. Nurse-family partnership is an evidence-based home visiting model that serves families beginning during pregnancy for the end of the 28th week and continuing until the child turns 2 years old. And it's primarily serving first-time parents. It's a very upstream approach, as you can tell, by beginning during pregnancy. It's aimed at connecting with a parent during the magic window, where they've got the motivation to try to be the best parent they can be, to overcome obstacles that may exist in their life, and they can achieve their goals, their heart's desires, with the support of a specially trained nurse. With this work, we follow the client's heart desire. We have a registered nurse with a bachelor's degree who comes into the home. It'll be different frequencies of visits depending on what stage of the pregnancy the parent is in. But as they come in, they don't come in and say, hey, here's everything you're doing wrong. Here's what you need to change. But rather they say, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to work on? And by helping this parent learn and gain resources and needed information, and then decide for themselves what they want to make their goals, and then helping them achieve it, it builds an empowerment. It builds an ability for the family, for the parent and other caregivers to set a better life course going forward. And this is really key because our nurse home visitors are only able to be there for 2.5-3 year period. We've been studying through rigorous randomized controlled trials and longitudinal studies and all of that stuff for 40 years now, 45 years, the impact of this home visiting work. And because of the empowerment that you gain during this early crucial period of life, the 2-generational life course has changed, not just for the parents involved, but also then for the children as well. It's interesting because I was in a meeting with a legislator here in Oregon, and the legislator said, what can you tell us about impacts on education, on graduation from your program? And I assumed that they were asking about the parents and their graduation rates, because many of the families we serve are trying to set a goal to get a GED or finish high school or something of that nature. And she interrupted. She said, no, I mean for the children of the people who are being served. And so I dug in, and we actually have, recent 18-year follow-up study that came out, and it found that for the families who had been served, the nurse-visited children were 3 times as likely to graduate from high school with honors as the control group. And that just blew my mind, because that was, the baby was here, and then the baby was here, and then the baby was toddling around. And then the nurse said, goodbye, it's been great. And this went their separate ways. But even with that short term of impact, because of the investment in this crucial early stage, the life course was so impacted that they're 3 times more likely to graduate with honors 18 years later, So it's a crucial period, and it's empowering parents who want to do the best they can. And so our 3 main goals are improving pregnancy outcomes for the parent and the child being born, to improve the child's development and health, and then to improve the economic self-sufficiency for the families. And we've, like I've mentioned, have lots of studies and research and outcomes, and we're very data heavy, and we try to learn constantly, not just from the foundational randomized controlled trials we've done, but then through replication, ongoing work. And so from this, we have some outcomes that I'll share here that fit so nicely and so well in this space we're talking about with abuse and prevention. We have a 48% reduction in cases of child abuse and neglect, which just 48%, such a difference. We have a 56% reduction in emergency room visits for injury and ingestion, and some of those injuries again tie into abuse or neglect, and an increased involvement of both parents by 46%, and that just provides for such greater stability. The families we serve, where we try to plug into societies and communities, is to serve those families who are facing the greatest number of barriers. Like I mentioned, first-time parents, but also those who are maybe low income, They may be facing former involvement in foster care, a history of child abuse, substance use disorder, homelessness, any of those other factors that raise their level of need or their economic and social barriers that they have in their lives. We want to be able to plug in with our higher degree of intensity of resources and training and education with our home visitor, and for that part of the population, so we can drive a wedge into what is often an intergenerational cycle that goes on. And then we partner and try to boost up other programs and other supports that are out there for those who aren't first time or in such maybe high risk factors, because it's a continuum that really makes the work go around. We have high hopes to be able to continue to grow across Oregon and to reach and serve more families and to raise the ability of other programs that are beneficial to do the same.